Something is... Okay. I think that's fine now. Rowan says, "Look, I can see it, Miss Elena." Rowan says, "Please, come quickly." Elena says, "He is a spirited one." There we go, that's better. Ryudo says, "That wasn't the word I had in mind. I suppose we should take a look." Oh my, what hath happened here? Rowan says, "These are the Grana Cliffs." Elena says, "So these are the Grana Cliffs." Ryudo says, "A scar splitting the face of the Silesian continent. I take it you haven't seen it before." Elena says, "Scripture speaks of it, yet the size. The land still aches, its wound yet felt. The battle of good and evil, so close." Ryudo says, "And still, after all those years, no one has come up with a better name than the battle of good and evil." Yeah, it's quite trite, my dear. Elena says, "How will we make our crossing?" Rowan says, "Look over there." I'm just glad there's the vertical line bullshit I was dealing with the other day isn't there now. Rowan says, "That's called the Skyway. We ride on that across the Grana Cliffs." The ship lands in a town not far ahead. Once we cross here, it is only a stone's throw to the St. Time Papal State. Sky says, "Or you could all grow wings and I wouldn't have to wait for you." Elena says, "Incredible. This is so exciting." Ryudo says, "Don't overdo it. We're camping here tonight." Rowan says, "Good idea." Ryudo says, "Hey Elena, sleeping on your feet again? Let's move." Elena says, "Huh? Oh no, not at all." This is one of those theatrical things where the music gets all crazy every once in a while. Meow. Penis. Ryudo says, "Dinner with a view, kids. Watch your step when you go to the little girl's room." Elena says, "The Grana Cliffs are incredible. You must see them to believe them. The world is really in a pitiful state." Rowan says, "It sure is a hassle that the world is split in half by these Grana Cliffs. Now I remember. It was the battle of good and evil that made these, right? Miss Elena, will you tell me about the battle of good and evil?" Elena says, "I don't really know very much myself, but they say long ago the people lived happily, bathed in the light of Lord Granus. Then Valmar came and tried to take the light from the people, and so began the battle of good and evil. At the battle's end, Lord Granus' sword, which he raised to cut down Valmar, went right through Valmar into the earth, creating a huge fissure across the land, and that is how the Grana Cliffs came to be." Ryudo says, "You think that if Granus had a sword big enough to carve out the continent, he'd be a bit more careful about where he'd drop it." Elena says, "It can't be helped. Just think about what the world would be like without Lord Granus." Elena says, if Lord Granus had not defeated Valmar, just think what would come of the world. Rowan says, now that you mention Valmar, the devil of darkness, can you feel Miss Elena? Miss Elena, are you really alright? Says Rowan. Elena says, I cannot believe it, that Valmar is inside me. People must not be caught by darkness. They will be able to live only in darkness. They will no longer feel for other people. Darkness wraps a person's soul. If someone is truly caught by darkness, that person will have no future. Ryudo says, then I guess I have no future either. Ryudo says, this is getting shadier by the moment. For some reason, I don't see sunshine and puppy dogs in the near future. Sometimes you gotta kind of click around. Elena says, no, Ryudo, you cannot be one of the dark ones. Darkness is much more, wicked. Rowan says, Mr. Ryudo, you are neither wicked nor a dark one. Darkness is something completely different. Wicked dark ones, huh? Elena says, I don't really understand it myself, but darkness makes people sad and lonely. I hate it. Ryudo says, we gotta get going early tomorrow. Let's hit the sack. Death. Stop it. Stay away from me. My body is melting. Stay away from me, says some nameless voice. Ryudo says, what's wrong, Elena? You were screaming in your sleep. Elena says, a huge tongue-like thing was coiled around me. It was devouring me. Ryudo says, shh, that's strange. It's too quiet. Hey, Rowan, wake up. Oh my. Something is growling.
Something's here.
I finally found you. I'll teach you a lesson.
Take flight! Here goes! Flying Tensei Ken!
Flying bitch slap! What should we do to him? I may have overleveled a little bit, but that's okay.
Are you not him?
What? What is the meaning of this? Why do you attack me?
Your smell called me. The same smell as that of the villain who destroyed my village.
What is this, a JRPG?
The smell of that scum drives me crazy. must find him. This Memphis.
What? You said Memphis. You know. I smell like Memphis? Is that true?
You know Memphis.
I might.
I see.
There we go.
Your smell does not have the dank smell of death. I had forgotten myself.
Hey! You! My Is Memphis alive?
Memphis is a demon man, bringer of ruination. My name is Merrick. I'm sorry for attacking you.
Weirdo.
Demon man? Bringer of ruination? He's just a common murderer. Can't still be alive. Never thought I'd have to relive that nightmare again in such a place.
What is all this? Who is this Memphis?
He's your mama.
He's my brother.
What a weird place to take me. Get on your knees! Oh yeah. Ah, scorpions.
Shall be safe ahead.
She just made a white apocalypse. That's definitely not racist at all. It's just an accident. I'm trapped. I think this is where we're headed. It looks like the first town in Grandia won. A little bit. Alright, we get it. There's a town here or something, and it's like way too big. The man says, "Damn it, this would otherwise be such a nice town." The woman says, "You mean, if this town weren't cursed by darkness, it would be a nice town." Elena says, "Oh my, what is the matter?" The woman says, "I can't live here anymore. We're leaving." Ryuta says, "Leave them alone, Elena." The man says, "Are you planning on staying in town? I would advise against it. Besides, the gates won't open until tomorrow." Ryudo says, isn't the Skyway running? The man says, not until tomorrow, but don't get your hopes up. They don't let people on it. Ryudo says, come again? Rowan says, what? But people were on it just now. The woman says, for the private use of that miserable Gadon. Maybe it's for the best, since anyone who visits this town wants to leave as soon as possible. The man says, hey, just forget about it. Elena says, if there's anything I can do. The man says, thanks for your kind offer, but we can't stay in this town. There's nothing left for us here. Ryudo says, cheerful folk, but if I listened to every piece of good advice I'd heard, I'd have killed all of you and run off with your gold. Wow. Elena says, I'm exhausted. Shall we find an inn? Rowan says, don't worry, Miss Elena. I heard this place has, what was it? It's a delicacy around here. If I could remember the name, we could try it. Welcome to Lilygee. We're #1 in the high-tech industry, you know. Come see the huge array of products we offer. Your mama's a product. God, look at all that crap I saved up by grinding like way too much. I think I picked up some armor, so we're gonna try and use that first. Whoops, didn't mean to do that. Oh gosh, darn it. Don't mind my equipment messery. It shall be over soon. Anyways, gotta go fast. Ah. The only thing we have to eat is arm root. Still wanna stay? Ryudo says, whatever, serve it up quick, I'm hungry. Rowan says, that's the delicacy I forgot to try last time. Boy, we're lucky. The innmaster says, yes, the delicacy. Anyway, that's all we got. Take it or leave it. Ryudo says, quite a sales pitch. How about it? Ryudo says, come on, let's try that stuff. Rowan calls a delicacy. Elena says, this food has no flavor and the texture is really weird. Rowan says, how can this be a famous local delicacy? It must be an acquired taste. Ryudo says, this can't be edible, it's like eating sand. I'd rather eat dirt. Elena says, I've never eaten anything like this before. It has the most disgusting texture. Rowan says, it's rough in my mouth. Are you sure it's even edible? Ryudo says, people actually eat this stuff? Elena says, I've never had such mushy food. Rowan says, is this all they have to eat? I think I'll abstain from meals from here on out. Let's go to the Skyway. Ryudo says, I'm thinking we're gonna see that Gadon guy tomorrow. Let's go shake him up a bit. Wow. Let's go find this douche twat. Elena says, oh my goodness, are you alright? Elena says, what's the matter? Where does it hurt? The child says, I'm hungry. Elena says, this is a problem easily remedied. I'm sure we have something to eat. Please, a moment. The kid says, ooh, and then runs away. Elena says, is the boy sick? The man says, Miss, please do not give him any food. It's too much of a temptation. Elena says, what do you mean? The man says the people of this town can't eat normal food even if they wanted to. They can only bear the disgusting Aurum root. Elena says, I don't understand. What do you mean they can't eat? Ryudo says, Elena, don't talk to strangers. Besides, they could be diseased. Elena says, if so, we must help them. The child says, I'm hungry. The wife says, I can't stand it anymore. If we have to keep eating only Aurum root, we're gonna die. The engineer says, shut up. You ask for too much. Here, eat this. Oh, bleh. It's no use. I can't eat it either. Dear, let's leave this town. We can try starting a farm somewhere, says the wife. The engineer says, but we don't know if we'll ever be able to even leave this town. I'm sorry. We'll manage, somehow. Elena says, what exactly is going on in this town? The engineer says, you must be travelers. You ought to leave quickly. Elena says, what is your difficulty? I serve Lord Granus, and I may be of some small help. The wife says, the people in this town lost their sense of taste. The wife says, thanks to the Skyway, this town was once a bustling trade center. My husband had been working on the Skyway. The work was hard, but the pay was good, so we were never at want for anything. But 10 days ago, all food began to lose its taste. It was like eating sand or rocks. Soon, we lost all interest in eating almost any kind of food. We thought that we were sick, but before we knew it, everyone in town had the same affliction. The only thing we could eat was the Aurum root, which was tasteless to begin with. But no matter how much we eat, we never get full. Rowan says, I've never heard of a disease that makes you lose your sense of taste. How about you, Ryudo? Ryudo says, ask Elena. She doesn't seem to have taste in anything. Wow. The wife says, maybe this town is cursed. I don't remember anyone doing anything against the will of Lord Granus. Elena says, you must be miserable. I wish there was something I could do. Ryudo says, you worked on the Skyway, right? How do we catch a lift? The engineer says, in the center of town, you'll find the mansion of Mr. Gadon, manager of the Skyway. You can ask him, but I doubt he'll help. Alright, let's get the fuck out of here. Let's get the fuck out of here. We gotta get the fuck out of here. Where's the mansion? Okay. Look at this piece of shit. It's Donald Trump. Watch the fuck out, kids. He's hungry. Gadon says, delicious. Well, I haven't seen you around here. Is there something I can do for you? Ryudo says, I heard you're not letting anyone on the Skyway. I'm here to change your mind. Gadon says, yes, we're not letting anyone on right now. This is a vital time for business. Carrying people drops efficiency. Ryudo says, I'll make it worth your while. Gadon says, I didn't notice you had a sister with you. She must be headed to Granas Cathedral. Well, more business. Ryudo says, how much do you want? Gadon says, 10K. Ryudo says, deal, let's go. Gadon says, not so quickly, my friend. The last tram already left. Do not fret, another will be available tomorrow. Ryudo says, can't leave today, huh? Elena says, obviously you can still stuff yourself with food. Why do you not share your secret with the townsfolk? Ryudo says, Elena, hush. Gadon says, a strange thing to say, my sister. Do you imply my health is something less than virtuous, that I should suffer as well? Elena says, well, no. Gadon says, I too am troubled by this cause. My employees are stricken, which is hardly good for business, with no cure. Elena says, is that so? Rowan says, even then, I'm amazed you can eat so much. Gadon says, perhaps the others have sinned before Granas. Perhaps I alone remain blessed. Who can fathom the mind of a god? Ah, delicious. Gadon says, dear sister, you smell quite nice. Were you aware that smell and taste are interrelated? Elena says, what? Ryudo says, he seems healthy enough, although I do question his taste in women. Elena says, how can you remain so smug and impertinent while others starve about you? Gadon says, I'd watch my words if I were you. I pay my workers generously. This problem is none of my doing. The townsfolk would do well to thank me for seeing to bring prosperity to this town. Elena says, how could such a thing have happened? Gadon says, indeed, this town was known by many to have been touched by the hand of Granas. Perhaps he does not wish to soil his hand any further. I'm no expert. You should inquire within the church outside of town. You do smell fine, though, my dear. A sweet, delicious peach. Ryudo says, tomorrow, then. Let's get the fuck out of here. Elena says, what a disgusting man. Ryudo says, I wouldn't know. Rowan says, Gadon's appetite is incredible. It's unnatural. But I'm more worried about the money we have to pay tomorrow. Ryudo says, he's working us. We'd better start digging in our couches for change. Sky says, why don't we just waste him? Ryudo says, that's why I like you, Sky. Always thinking. Rowan says, Ryudo, like it or not, we do have a sister in our party. Elena says, but Ryudo, we have to do something for these townspeople. If they're really blessed by Lord Granas, how could this happen? That man said just now we should ask Father at the church. Ryudo says, are we in a hurry to get you to the cathedral or not? We don't have time for your church girl routine. Elena says, this town, everything. It's terrible. I just can't ignore those in need. Ryudo says, Princess, we don't need any more trouble than we already have. Rowan says, please. Mr. Ryudo, we can't leave until tomorrow anyway. What's wrong with just going to the church? Ryudo says, shut your damn yap, kid. This is not a stroll to the altar, and we're not in the bloody church choir. I'm sick of all of this. Elena says, I'm sorry, but still. Ryudo says, don't be so quick to apologize. Let's find the church. Oh my goodness. Where is this church? Where's the church? Meow, 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 meow. That's not a church. Oh, let me over here. Oh my goodness, I think we found it. The father says, may I help you, my dear travelers? Elena says, Father, we have come with a question. The priest says, I see that you too are one who serves Lord Granus. Elena says, what happened to this town, to these people? The priest says, this is a question that troubles me as well. I do not know what has become of us. Some say that the face of Lord Granus has turned from us, but still, I don't believe it. Elena says, I have heard this tale. There are those in town who say they have lost the blessing of Granus. Ryudo says, pretty unreliable for a deity. If you want to keep your job as Supreme Overlord, you should keep your naughty and nice list straight. Elena says, Ryudo! Ryudo says, I don't quite get this blessing stuff. That one lard butt looked pretty damn blessed to me, about 200 pounds more blessed than anyone else around here. The priest says, you mean Mr. Gadon. He too has changed. He was once a good man, loved by all. Soon he began to change. He began to become obsessed with wealth and riches, and with nutrition as well. As I recall, this occurred roughly around the same time that our current misfortune befell us. Ryudo says, people deal with depression differently. Some sleep, others write, others suck food down their throats like garbage chutes. Rowan says, but what would that have to do with the townspeople not being able to eat? Elena says, Priest, forgive my companion's lack of tact, but I too wonder why this town is known to be blessed by Granus. The priest says, go upstairs. You will see the truth for yourselves from above. Let me in. The father says, you can see the whole town from here. Elena says, those pillars, they look to be part of a single ruin. The priest says, they are said to be the ruins of a temple. They were severely damaged when the town was rebuilt. But Mr. Gadon says that they're still not sufficiently destroyed. Rowan says, I see. So this town was built on the ruins of an old temple of Granus. That is why the town is blessed. Rowan continues, but those pillars have a strange shape, as if there was something in the center. Ryudo says, as if something were buried. The priest says, now that you mention it, I've heard of an excavation at the base of the pillars. They run deep, too deep to be removed. Ryudo says, I'm not liking what I'm hearing. Ryudo says, what do you think, Elena? Does this sound familiar? Ruined temple, burial mound, unholy piece of Valmar sealed up inside. Elena says, like Garmia Tower, it cannot be. Valmar. The priest says, I have not heard of such a thing. Ryudo says, terrific. We can be on our way. Elena says, hold, Ryudo. The suffering of the townspeople may be a result of the breaking of a seal. We must investigate. Ryudo says, whoa there, Gumshoe. I don't recall hunting down Reawakening God of Evil as being part of my job description. Elena says, saving those in need is the duty of those who follow Granus. Elena says, I will not ignore my duty, Ryudo, and I most certainly will not ignore these people. We must aid them. Ryudo says, you're just being stubborn. Let's try to be rational. 1. I'm not being paid. I repeat that, I'm not being paid. 2. Grana should be more than able to take care of Valmar without Grana should be more than able to take care of Valmar without us. 3. You need to get to the cathedral as soon as possible. Elena says, Ryudo, please, I cannot ignore their suffering. If I do, I might as well never take another step towards the cathedral. Ryudo says, nothing. Elena says, you can't be moved? Very well, I'll help them myself. Ryudo says, I'll have to protect you, of course. Stop it with the self-righteous expression. Make a nice face for me. Elena says, what are you doing? Cut that out! Anyways, Ryudo says, we'll check out the ruins, but tomorrow, we take the Skyway, no matter how many kittens are stuck in trees. Elena says, oh, Ryudo. Elena says, Father, you spoke of an excavation. The priest says, yes, but take caution. No one has been permitted to explore the ruins. There is much danger. Elena says, thank you, Daddy. Ryudo, let us depart. Elena says, oh, Father, I've had terrible dreams of late. In them, I'm haunted by darkness. Does this mean my soul is weak? Father says, do not allow darkness to have a doorway to your heart. A strong soul resists darkness. Carry yourself accordingly. Anyways, Elena says, thank you very much, Father. You may be blessed by Lord Granus. Father says, same to you, O songstress. Ryudo says, let's get this over with. We don't have room for any more of these roadside attractions in our itinerary. Rowan says, oh, Mr. Ryudo, and then lightly caresses his own nipples, as if to suggest that Ryudo makes him horny as fuck. Anyways, how the fuck do I get to whatever cave I have to go to? Ryudo says, well, I'll be damned. Merrig says nothing. Ryudo says, Merrig, what brings you here? Merrig says, the smell of this place, it offends the earth. Ryudo says, wait, tell me, is my brother here? What of Melphis? Where is he? What has he done? Merrig says, I sense the foul work of that demon here. Do not ask of what came by his hand, for I wish not to bear the remembrance of it. Ryudo says, is he here, or do you only suspect? Elena says, Mr. Merrig, this town is deeply troubled. Please, will you aid us in our search for the root of this evil? Will you help us put an end to it? Merrig says, to protect the power of which you speak from ever being used again, I shall join you. Elena says, thanks, fatty. I mean, she said, thank you very much, or something like that. Well, no new destination yet. I guess we gotta keep looking. It's in the center of town, I guess. Yeah, something pillars. Something beast man. Rito says these trees survive nicely on a diet of coal and iron. Merrig says there is joy yet in the earth. Through 1,000 cities of glass and steel choke the sky. The land will not forsake its own. Meow. Rito says this must be the hole they dug. Merrick says the smell of decay comes from below, the foul stench of a villain. Rito says, Melphis. Heads up, Merrick. Rito says, yah, and stabs the thingy. Rito says, let's go. Whatever. I'm sufficiently powered up. Anyways. Oh, there's a hole in the wall where the man can see it all. Ah, monsters. The flock. These places are so easy to get lost in. Anyways. Gotta go fast. Jeebus. Alright, we're in part 2, I guess, of the cave. Well, let's make this as confusing as possible, I guess. Which way do we go? No, not that way. Okay, we're in cave part 2. That's getting somewhere, I guess. Free stuff. No. Rude. Oh my. What hath we found? I suppose there are 2 more of those somewhere. Maybe not there, though. The fuck? Alright, we found 2 pillars. We need to find 1 more, I guess. Well, there's that fucker. yeah, that's how you do it, I guess. Merrick says, the stench of ruin, of decay. Ryudo says, what the devil is this? Elena says, it's a seal of Lord Granus. It's used to seal Valmar. Rowan says, the seal is broken. Could whatever was sealed here left? Elena says, Ryudo, the culprit in this crime is not your brother. It's Mr. Spidey. Elena says, eek. Ryudo says, Elena. Ryudo says, we're dealing with a piece of Valmar here. Millennia says, how dare you, you miserable. I won't stand being eaten. Ryudo says, great, she's back. Merrick says, what just happened? Rowan says, is that you, Miss Millennia? We meet again. Rowan says, Miss Millennia. Millennia laughs. Millennia says, now you get to meet my friends. Come over here, you fucker. I'll make you mine. Millennia says, chase him. That thing's the cause of all of it. Ryudo says, it is so vague. What are you referring to? Millennia says, just go. Meow, 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 meow. Where the hell did it go? Yay, I found some stuff. Ryudo says, unless Melphis has put on some weight, this isn't him. Merrick says, this beast is the source of the village's troubles. Caution. Its smell augurs danger. You look delicious, little ones. I shall strip your bones of your fine flesh. So tender, so succulent. Let me taste you. And the wings of Valmar shall make a fine main course. Ryudo says that voice is familiar. Good dawn. Let me guess. Did you get a new haircut? Millennia laughs insanely. So the tongue of Valmar wants a taste. Here's something to chew on.
This is my way of thanking
Dude.
Flying Tensei Ken!
Tasty.
You better practice if you want to beat me.
Bow, bow. Millennia says he appears to be a bit tongue-tied. Or is that too tongue-in-cheek? Oh my. I think she's gonna eat it. Millennia says, ah, finally we got one. I feel full of power. Feels so good. Rowan says, Miss Millennia, what just happened? Ryudo says, what did you do? Millennia says, that's a secret. See you later, Ryudo. Ryudo says, Millennia? And Millennia just disappears like she always does. Meow. Rowan says, I can't believe Miss Millennia is really Valmar. Merrick says the smell is gone. It was not Melphis. Elena says, Ryudo, where am I? Longingly, it happened again. Oh no. Oh no. Elena says, Ryudo, what happened to him? Ryudo says, you remember anything at all? Being swallowed by the tongue of Valmar? Elena says, no. Ryudo says, Millennia appeared again, and according to her, Gadon was possessed by the tongue of Valmar. I won't comment on that, but apparently this was the source of the town's troubles. Elena says, our holy book contains a passage that speaks of this. First, Valmar possesses one's soul and then devours it. Maybe this is what happened to Gadon. Poor man, Valmar took advantage of the weakness of his soul. Ryudo says, after we beat Gadon, the tongue of Valmar, Millennia did something to him. This is the result. Elena says, each piece of Valmar can feed off one another to increase their own power. How revolting. This man must have had his soul devoured. Ryudo says, I can't believe she'd do such a thing. Rowan says, me too. Didn't we manage to fix the town's problems thanks to Miss Millennia? Elena says, I can't believe it either. I think it's just a coincidence. Merrick says, Millennia and the tongue of Valmar. Lo, the tongue of Valmar stank of ruin as does Melphis. Ryudo says, are you saying that Melphis is possessed? Merrick says, I know not. No matter he is dangerous, possessed, or otherwise, I will have my vengeance. Ryudo says, Merrick, when I'm finished with Elena, this job, let me go along with you. Merrick says, I don't know where to begin my search. This land is unfamiliar to me. You would not be unwelcome should you choose to come. Ryudo says, right. What about you, Elena? Elena says, I'm sure that the wings of Valmar are within me. Every night I can feel the darkness drawing across my soul like a shroud. The cold. I must seek His Holiness Zera soon. Rowan says the townspeople seem to be better. Ryudo says, okay, so we go straight to the Granas Cathedral. Gadon says nothing. Ryudo says, it really looks like you can't stop eating even if you wanted to. The price you pay when you deal with Valmar. Elena says, how sad. Ryudo says sad. Action carries consequence. Elena says, I understand that, but I do not think that Gadon was a bad person to begin with. It's sad to see the weak being used by Valmar. Oh. Time to screw with some stuff, I guess. coins do I have? A good amount. Let's see. That's fine. What egg do I have her equipped with? Okay, she has chaos, so fire, wind, and lightning. Let's see. Alright, that's enough of that shit for now. The menu is kind of loud and annoying. Ryudo says, "Are you feeling better?" The engineer says, "Yes, thanks to the sister and your party. Thank you very much." The wife says, "I'm so glad that we're back to normal. I can't thank you enough." The son says, "Thank you, miss." The engineer says, "I have something important to do, so..." Elena says, "Measure for measure, all's well that ends well. The townsfolk have been saved, and all is as it should be. Mr. Gadon, well, he took care of his body, but not his soul. Perhaps that was his error." Ryudo says, "He was right, to a certain extent." Elena says, "What do you mean?" Ryudo says, "The people of this town, they sacrificed their well-being for promises of wealth. Gadon didn't have to do anything, really. The people decided what they wanted. A subtle trap." Elena says, "But still, the trap has been sprung. All has been put right. If everyone works together, happiness will return to even this broken world. Lord Granos yet watches over us." Ryudo says, "You missed the point. The story doesn't end here. We don't all hold hands and skip home." Elena says, "Huh?" Ryudo says, "The world is not so black and white. The answers aren't as pat as you'd like to believe." Elena says, "What do you mean?" Ryudo says, "You'll find out eventually. Come on, we've yet to cross the Grana Cliffs. We're just a little bit further to Cathedral. Just a little bit further to the Cathedral." Goodness. Sometimes I cannot talk. The random person says, "Thanks for your help, everyone. The Skyway is ready for departure. Come to the platform whenever you're ready." Sky says, "Once we board, we are not able to return. We had better make sure we are prepared as we need to be." Yeah, whatevs. I shall return. There might be a brief interlude, because I need beverage. Anyways, I guess we're resting on the ship. If you don't like it, you can lick my penis. Ryudo says, Elena, you look pretty pale. Are you okay? Don't you remember anything at all? Elena says, what was I doing while it all happened? Just what happened, Rowan? Rowan says, the tongue of Valmar and Miss Millennia. What was it all about? Miss Elena, I don't understand it. Merrick says, Elena, are you okay? Do you not remember fighting with the tongue? And just who is this Millennia? Elena says, what happened to me, Ryudo? Ryudo says, the same shit. Rowan says, yeah, they're all kind of just repeating. Rowan says, yeah. This is one of those spots where this is broken. Anyways, he's explaining to Elena that while she was vacant, Millennia appeared and helped destroy the tongue. And then Gadon ended up vacant as well. Elena says she destroyed the man's soul. How can you be so insensitive? Rowan says the tongue of Valmar, one of the pieces of Valmar left after he was defeated by Granis. Merrick says, I know little of Valmar and religion. I am here to purge the evil smell, Melphis. Even his name reeks of evil. I have traveled far, and I shall find him. Ryudo says, Elena, calm down. The cathedral is just across the Granoff cliffs. And they take a nap or some shit. Oh my god. Elena says, Valmar is inside me. Sounds dirty. Rowan says... Sorry about that. Rowan says, what is happening? I thought I'd have a little bit more time than that to tend to other affairs. I was wrong. Anyhow...
Darkness is coming.
Good. The darkness.
Calling me. Darkness is calling me. Elena.
Doom. Ryudo says, we've got problems. What the hell is going on? Rowan says, Valmar's moon seemed to be shining. Merrick says, check yourselves for injury. Ryudo says, damn it, where's Elena? Merrick says, perhaps she had fallen earlier. Ryudo says, can't be. Elena, she's gotta be around here somewhere. Merrick says, I'm picking up her scent. Come on, this way. This way. Okie dokie.
Wake up!
Awesome.
Who are you? Where are we? Where are we? Well, I'm not quite sure. Oh, I know. See that shiny plate lying over there? Look, over there. to meet you, Miss Elena.
Oh, oh, oh.
You okay? I must be dreaming. What's going on? I just thought it'd be hard to talk if we couldn't do so face to face. So, here I am. Ta-da! Millennia. The wings of Valmar. Yeah, that's me. You filthy dark one, devourer of souls. Stay away from me.
Bitch, she is you.
You don't even know me. I did save you after all. Saved me? That's right. You should be thanking me. We share the same body, don't we? Oh, I've got to look out for the both of us. Well, see you later. Wait. Millennia? Millennia! I will be with you always. Wherever, whenever, forever. All the time. So, let's just try to get along, shall we? Miss Grannis, songstress.
Sweet Jeebus. Rowan says, hey, Miss Elena. Merrick says, Elena, are you okay? Ryudo says, Elena, thank the blade. You don't look hurt. What is it? You look like you seen a ghost. Elena says, perhaps an apparition, for it was not a dream. The day of darkness draws near. Valmar's moon swells with wrath. The Dark One gathers strength yet again. The time of Valmar's awakening is at hand. Ryudo says, hey, it's okay. Elena. Elena says, forgive me. I'm alright, Ryudo. I just had a strange experience. Ryudo says, least we avoided taking a dive into the Grana Cliffs. I wonder how far off course we were blown to come to such a strange place. Rowan says, looks like we were blown along the Grana Cliffs towards the north. Ryudo says, looks like we gotta walk from here. We'll head for the St. Heim Mountains. Pretty damn hard to miss, and then the cathedral. Elena says, yes, we must hurry. It's dungeon time, kiddos. Let's fuck some shit up. Let's see what we got now. I have a lot of special coins. At least I think. Oh, that uses magic coins. That's why. Okay. Everything is fine. We don't need to level up certain people for certain reasons. Spoilers! Alright, let's go back first, just to be safe we didn't miss anything. Haha, success. Hey, we got some money. Yay, I picked something up, I guess. Oh, we're in a cavern. Ah, evil babies. Whoops. That looks like it was the right way. Let's make sure we find all the treasures. What's a naughty? What's a naughty no-no?
Flame to purify.
She's like, I just fucked these bitches up. That tree is kind of ugly. This place is a shit show fuckfest. There we go. Oh no, it's the Dune room. Oh no, it's Mr. Caterpillar. Juicy. Are there any more juicy thingies I can rip up? I think not. So hopefully this is the right way. Juicy. Wow, I accidentally went the right way. Alright. I think we got all the stuff, maybe. I don't know, I could be wrong. The fuck is going on with this light? Ryuto says, looks like we got ourselves lost. Elena says, the fog is thick. Rowan says, is this really the right road? Ryuto says, does it matter? Rowan says, wait a second. Merrick says, odd. There is no smell of life here. Elena says, why do flowers bloom in such a cold and barren place? Wow. Ripping off the Wizard of Oz with the poppy field, I guess. The voice says, who are you? This is my garden. Elena says, I'm sorry. We're travelers, lost on the road. Question mark says, this is the Garden of Happiness, my precious secret place. Everyone who comes here forgets their bad memories and gets happy. If you come here, it means that your heart wants to be saved. Look, aren't all the flowers so pretty? Elena says, but your eyes, are they perhaps? The little girl says, yes, my eyes were bad ever since I was born, but I'm fine now. Thanks to Granus, I can see everything. So I'm not lonely any longer. Ryuto says, these flowers are nice enough, I guess, if you're into that stuff. Not really my style. The little girl says, that's because you're not trying to see. You're trying to be someone you're not. Warm your heart, like these ones. Miss, I thought you would understand how good this place is, says the little girl. Elena says, what do you mean? The little girl says, don't you understand? If not, then you should ask the girl with the black wings. Elena says, black wings? The girl says, anyway, keep this place a secret. Promise? The little girl says, miss, don't eat me. And disappears. Ryuto says, what's with that girl? Poppies! Poppies! Or something like that. Ryuto says, let's go on. For what else can we do? Other than GTFOOH. Get the fuck out of here. Elena says, now where are we? Ryuto says, hey, that little girl in her garden. Where did they go? Rowan says, was it a dream? Give me that cash. Give me that cash. If you don't give it to me, you can lick my ass. I think that's the garden. It's blocked off. Look, we're in a town. Elena says there's a certain sadness about this village. I wonder what its source is. The villager says, the sister has arrived. I'm so glad. Now the village is saved. Chief, the sister's arrived. She's here. Elena says, are they speaking of me? Ryuto says, what's going on here? The chief says, you finally come. Our village, please. I beg of you, save us. Ryuto says, you've lost me, chief. I don't think any of us put in weekend reservations here. The chief says, you haven't come to save this village? Elena says, our journey is to Granus Cathedral. We're passing through, but... The villager says, so you haven't come to save our village. I thought for sure they'd be here by now. What does this mean for us? Ryuto says, good question. What's going on here? The chief says, these things shouldn't be spoken of in this place. Come to my home. The chief says, strange things have been happening here in this village. Villagers have suddenly been falling asleep. At first we thought it was fatigue, but they kept sleeping, days and days at a time. Merrick says, and you do not believe that they are merely unwell? The chief says, I wish it were so, but Ryudo says, they're not? The chief says, to be blunt, I believe it is a curse. Elena says, a curse? What leads you to believe this? The chief says, the dreams. Ever since falling asleep, all of the villagers have the same dream. A presence, watching and waiting, its eyes great and terrible. It's terrifying. Ryudo says, curse. Right. The chief says, we have no solid proof, yet we could not bear the dread of it. We sent to the cathedral for aid. Rowan says, that's why you thought Sister Elena was here to save you. The chief says, that's exactly so. Ryudo says, it's a damn shame. But like we said, we're passing through. The chief says, may I ask one thing of you? Ryudo says, what is it? The chief says, will you stay here for just one night? The priestess from the cathedral should be here soon. I don't expect you to take her place, but if your sister stays here, the curse may be somewhat allayed. Another one fell asleep today. We are all uneasy, says the lady with no name. Elena says, Ryudo. Ryudo says, well, it is dark out. Elena says, we shall do as you ask. It is not much, but we would be happy to stay in the village. Where's the store, you dirty whore? Meow. That's not a store. That's not a store. quick. It's nap time. Irina says, could you be the sister? Oh, we've been waiting for you. Irina says, my son Nicholas does not wake up. Please do what you can to save him. Elena says, unfortunately, we're simple travelers. We're not the ones you're expecting. Irina says, I'm so sorry. I made a terrible mistake. Elena says, if you have contacted the cathedral, I'm certain someone will arrive soon. Please wait a little longer. Irina says, yes, I suppose you're right. Elena says, but you say that your son has fallen ill? Irina says, sister, perhaps if you look at him, you might be able to learn something. Would you mind coming this way? Ryudo says, is this the curse they're talking about? Elena says, it appears to be so. Irina says, this is Nicholas. He seems to be sleeping peacefully, but he never wakes up. Nicholas says, it's so much fun here. Ryudo says he doesn't sound sick. Maybe he's just easily entertained. Whee! Rowan says, is this not just like Gadon? Ryudo says, you saying Valmar devoured his soul? Merrick says, there's no foul smell about this place. Elena says, unfortunately, I can't help you at all. Irina says, that innocent face. Maybe he's playing with the fairies in the Garden of Dreams. Elena says, the Garden of Dreams? The place we passed through? Irina, before arriving here, we came upon a garden filled with fairies. Irina says, you can't be serious. It's a tale told to children, full of song and fancy, meaning nothing. It's a fantasy. Ryudo says, it was definitely real. Flowers everywhere, fairies flitting about. I couldn't dream this up, believe me. Elena says, there was a little girl, a strange girl. She could see everything. She had a scar above her right eye. Irina says, that's Ira, Sandra's daughter. How eerie. So this curse was the work of Sandra after all. Elena says, please, do not be so quick to jump to conclusions. Is Sandra from this village? Irina says, she lives in back of the village. God, that's terrible writing. How could that hateful wretch do this to my poor, sweet Nicholas? I wish someone trapped me in a dream I didn't want to wake up from. That sounds fun. Anyways, Elena says, Ryudo, if that girl were indeed Ira, I would like to speak with her again. Ryudo says, huh? Elena says, I keep thinking about what she said. Ryudo says, don't eat me. Well, you have been putting on a few pounds. You have to see it from her point of view. Rowan says, oh, stop. She was an odd little girl, and I wonder, was that garden real? Merrick says, as real as the dreams of a wise man, neither fantasy nor substance. A mist rising in the morning, melting into air by noon. Ryudo says, if we find Ara, we can ask her. Elena says, yes, we shall see. Ryudo says, that girl. It is Ira. Elena says, it's not our imagination. She's real. Elena says, Ira, dear. Ira says, hello again, miss. Elena says, when you said don't eat me before, what did you mean? Ira says, I just meant what I said. I know you are okay, miss, but... Ryudo says, excuse the interruption here, but this has been bugging me. What was that garden? Ira says, it's a safe place for people when they're sad. It's not like every place else, all hurting. I just want them to be happy. Sandra says, Ira, where have you gone? Sandra says, Ira, I told you not to go outside. And then she says, you, Get away from Ira. What are you trying to do to her? Ira says, Mother, she's alright. She's not bothering me. Rowan says, Now, we're travelers, and we were just talking to her a little bit. We'd never do anything. Merrick says, I'm terribly sorry if my appearance has startled you. Sandra says, No, there's no need. I assumed the worst, but that one. Elena says, What have I done? Sandra says, I'm sorry. Please come inside. I can't talk out here. Ryudo says, What's with the secrecy? Is there a reason you want to avoid notice? Sandra says, There are those who do not wish Ira well. The innkeeper's son, Nicholas, fell ill, you see, while Ira was with him. They were just playing, and then there's a children's story about a fairy garden in the tale, and she trails off. Ira says, That's right. I promised to take Nicholas to the garden. Sandra says, Ira, don't say such things. Ira says, But... Say, let me see that medal. Rowan says, But this is... Ira says, Your mother gave it to you, right? Rowan says, Yes, but... Sandra says, I'm sorry. Anyway, the villagers here look at me strangely. And to think, my prayers to Granas had finally been answered. Ira's blindness was cured. Elena says, Sight restored through prayer? That's a miracle. Ryudo says, For once Elena's right. It's a damn miracle that your prayers actually worked. No wonder the villagers think you're a witch. Elena says, Ryudo? Sandra says, Ira is my treasure. Her eyesight was poor since she was born, and I've had such a hard time. I looked for herbs and prayed for her sight, but the others called my mixtures witches' brews and my prayers summonings. And just when Ira is finally healed by prayer, I'm blessed with a little happiness. They blame me for the curse. Elena says, I'm sorry. Ryudo says, Don't get any ideas, Elena. There's nothing we can do. By now the church has probably sent some people to look into it. Anyway, let them deal with it. We're not the experts. Come on. There's still a lot of ground to cover before we reach the cathedral. Elena says, You're right. Ryudo says, Let's go back to the inn. Okay, Rowan? Ira says, Thank you. Your mother was very pretty. Sandra says, What's wrong, Ira? Ira says, Scary people have come, Mother. Really scary people. Hey, hurry up. We mustn't make them wait, says a villager. Wait up, says another. Ryudo says, What's the commotion? The villager says, I heard the priestess and her party from the cathedral have finally arrived. Elena says it.
Cathedral Knights.
Whatever.
Well, how terrible for you. But never fear. The Cathedral Knights are here. We shall dispel the darkness before your eyes.
Oh, your words are most reassuring. Please, do what you can.
This village is full of darkness. Darkness with terrible powers.
What has brought this upon us?
I have purified much darkness in my work so far. From my experience, this darkness is the doing of Valmar. I am not mistaken. Until further notice, this village shall be under the control of us, the Cathedral Knights. All entrances shall be sealed. No one may enter or exit the village. Understood? Anyone violating my order shall be deemed a minion of darkness and purified in the name of Lord Grannis. Come, my Knights of Grannis. Take up your blades to cut down the darkness. God's light shall shine.
That bitch crazy.
I ought to have introduced myself. I am Celine, leader of the Cathedral Knights. I am pleased to meet you.
Hey, Elena. You know that crazy zealot over there?
Yes. She's the High Priestess Celine, leader of the Cathedral Knights. Now, High Priestess Celine is known to be an excellent inquisitor of heresy. I'm afraid this town might be in for a bit of trouble.
Just what are those guys planning to do here?
Hello, are you not so fast? I was not told of a sister in this town.
Oh, I'm Elena, a songstress of Grannis. I'm on my way to Grannis Cathedral to report to His Holiness Sarah.
To report to His Holiness Sarah. You must be a very accomplished student. I'm sure His Holiness will be pleased. Your mission must be important, as is mine, to purify the world of darkness. Let us both work to the utmost of our abilities.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Celine says, "Is this so? Indeed, you must desire to make haste if your intent is to report to His Holiness. How awkward for you." Elena says, "No, in fact, the ceremony failed." Ryudo says, "Watch your words, Elena." Celine says, "Well, who might you be?" Ryudo says, "I'm Ryudo." God damn it. "The sister is under my protection." Celine says, "I see. For your trouble, I thank you." Ryudo says, "You can thank me by letting us through this village." And these two as well. They're with us. Celine says, "This is not possible." Ryudo says, "Cut me some slack. We're no threat to you or your cause." Celine says, "I cannot. Did you not hear what I just said? This village is now sealed. Leave and be purified." Celine says, "Until this matter surrounding this village is resolved, no one may leave. Not Elena, not you, not anyone." Ryudo says, "Look, we need to report to your boss. Get word to him about us, and I'm sure he'll permit us to make haste to the cathedral." Celine says, "Regardless of your schedule, it's my duty to ensure that the darkness in this village is exterminated without exception." Ryudo says, "By the blood, even if your aim is to expunge the darkness, what will you do when you find it? No one can stand against a god." Celine says, "Worry not. We are the Cathedral Knights, blessed by Lord Grannis. Discovering the allies of Valmar is a simple task, as is purifying the unclean." Ryudo says, "What is it with you and this purify thing? For some reason, I doubt your knights are packing soap and bubble bath in that armor." Rowan says, "She means to kill them. I remember one village somewhere that was burned to the ground by the Cathedral Knights." Ryudo says, "That's some strong bubble bath, bro." Celine says, that's not correct. Lord Granas does not approve of mindless slaughter. The holy fire of Lord Granas merely purifies those who have sold their soul to Valmar. We have purged darkness from this world, leaving none in its taint unpurified. She said taint. Thanks be to Granas, or some shit. Rito says, there's that word again. I fail to see the difference between your method and murder. Elena says, if you were to find a person possessed by Valmar, what would you do to them? Celine says, should that be the case, this entire village shall be purified by the holy fire. Such a sacrifice is necessary in order to rid the world of Valmar's presence. The chief says, what? You can't do that. Celine says, do not be afraid, for the holy fire cleanses only the sinner. Those who are pure of heart need not worry. Of course, this is assuming there are persons without sin before Granas. The chief screams in terror. Celine says, please, tell me the details. Only then shall we seek out the apostles of Valmar. The chief says, all right, and walks away. Celine accompanies him, followed by a bunch of weird dudes with big swords. Doom. Doom. Rowan says, what should we do now, Mr. Ryudo? Ryudo says, security's too tight. We have no choice but to camp here tonight. We'll be left alone for now. Elena's company protects us from suspicion, though for how long I cannot say. Ryudo says they sure do get excited easily here. They have a few bad harvests and they stop thinking, huh? I guess they feel they need someone to blame. Elena says, Arena, Sandra, Ira, these people are simply struggling. That doesn't make them evil. Rowan says, if you are suffering, you can be blinded to the needs of others. Merrick says, there's no malicious scent, but something smells awry. Rowan says, the Cathedral Knights are merciless. At this rate, the village will be burned to the ground. Elena says, I never imagined the Cathedral Knights would come here. Ryudo says, I don't think Valmar can be defeated by anyone, not even these holy knights. Elena says, Valmar possesses even me. Rowan says, those knights might have killed all the villagers, and then what would have happened to Miss Elena? Ryudo says, we do have Elena with us. I can't imagine those overly holy knights will kill one of their own. Yeah, they're just kind of saying the same shit. Ryudo says, I think the best course of action is to get out of here before Celine causes more trouble. First thing tomorrow, we leave. Ryudo says, what's wrong, Elena? Elena says, it's Valmar's moon. It's so eerie. I wonder if it always stares down on us like that. Ryudo says, don't get worked up about something you can't do anything about. Besides, we're pretty damn far enough away from it. Elena says, I suppose, but what of the presence of Valmar inside me? Ryudo says, oh, Millennia? Come on, lighten up. She's not all that bad. Elena says, how can you be so cavalier? We speak of the power of darkness itself. Who knows when Millennia will do something like Gadon did, or worse? What if her purpose is to restore Valmar to life? Ryudo says, we can't do anything about it. Right now, at least. But isn't this why we're going to the cathedral? Elena says Valmar prepares a dwelling place within the souls of the wicked. I am sure that Millennia is the evil inside of me. She's the blackness in my soul. Ryudo says, don't let it get you down. What happened to your happy face? Come on, we'll knock on the doors of the cathedral. Zero will get off his porcelain throne, and we'll make everything okay. Elena says, stop it, Ryudo. This is serious. Must you always be so flippant? Ryudo says, I was trying to cheer you up. Blazes. Fine. I get it. As expected of the wings of Valmar, it is difficult to visit injury upon Millennia. You, on the other hand... Elena says, Ryudo? Ryudo says, look, you're not giving me a choice here. You can keep crying about Valmar this and Valmar that, or we can settle it now. Ryudo says, have you calmed down yet? What's gotten into you? What happened to the almost stereotypical determination and pluck that I know so well? What's wrong, Elena? Elena says, alright, Ryudo, kill me, if that will destroy Valmar. Ryudo says, what? Elena says, what's wrong? Do it quickly. I'm a little scared. Make it as painless as you can do. Ryudo says, don't be stupid. That's Celine talking, not you. Ryudo says, my job is to get you to the cathedral. If you want any extras, hire someone else. Stop your brooding and go to bed. Ryudo says, not the right approach, Ryudo. Not the right approach. What the hell is wrong with me? I guess I ought to get to bed myself. Anyways, I think they're asleep and we're having a dream. Some voice is moaning creepily. Ryudo says, where am I? Huh? What are you looking at? Stop looking at me. Ryudo says, this is my soul, damn it. Stay the hell out. Ryudo continues, stop it. Please just stop. Don't make me remember when I want to forget. Let me forget. Damn it, stop making me remember, says Ryudo. He awakens. Sky says, Ryudo, what's wrong? You were moaning. Ryudo says, why do you keep haunting me? I was almost able to forget. Sky says, doesn't sound like a very sweet dream. Ryudo says, I know. That was the dream they saw. Ryudo says, that's odd. I can't shake the feeling that I'm being watched. Ryudo looks out the window and says, it was that thing. The cause of the nightmares. If so, the village's curse? Damn it. Rowan, Merrick, are you alright? Rowan says, yes, Ryudo, are you okay? Merrick says, that cursed dream. What is its purpose? Ryudo says, ask that thing. It's been causing these damn nightmares. Rowan says, what do you mean by that thing? Elena says, Ryudo, what's happening? Ryudo says, Elena, are you alright? Listen, the source of the nightmares was right here. Sky says, that big flapping eyeball, just staring at us. It's like nothing I've ever seen. Ryudo says, if that was the cause, then the others, and trails off. Elena says, it can't be. Miss Arena. Ryudo says, oh blazes, let's check on her. Hurry! Elena says, where are you going? We gotta check on Miss Arena. Rowan says, look! Ryudo says, damn it, we're too late. They already got her. Sky says, Ryudo, I'll follow it. Try to keep up. Ryudo says, damn it, it's those things. They're behind this. We must follow. Merrick says, I see the source of our trouble. Rowan says, those things are causing the nightmares. Ryudo? Elena says, there's so many of them. Ryudo says, we have to follow. Quickly. Ryudo says, Sky, where did they go? Sky says, into that cave. Ryudo says, we know what comes next. Let's be quick about it. I want to find out what the hell's going on here. Anyway. Oof, I hate to stop in the middle of action, but I am sleepy. I will continue with this some other day. Thanks for watching.